Game started as white. c5. d6. e5. Queen takes d6. Knight c6. B takes c6. Bishop takes d6. Bishop b7. c5. Rook d8. Knight f6. Castles kingside. Bishop e7. h6. Bishop takes f6. Rook takes d8. Bishop takes e4. Bishop takes f3. Bishop takes b2. a6. A takes b5. Rook a8. Rook takes a2. Rook c2. King h7. King g6. f6. King h5. g6. g5. F takes g5. King takes h4. h5. King h3. h4. g4. Rook c1 check. Rook c2 check. Black wins on time. d4. Knight f3. Bishop c4. Queen takes d3. Queen d5. Queen takes c5. Queen b5. Queen b3. Knight g5. Queen d3. Castles kingside. Rook e1. Knight f3. Bishop takes e6. Knight c3. Knight takes e5. Knight d5. c4. Queen h3. Queen takes e6. E takes d5. C takes d5. Rook takes e5. Rook takes e8 check. h3. King h2. g3. King g2. b3. Rook takes e1. King f1. King e2. King d2. King c3. King d2. g4. King e3. King takes g1. King f2. King f2. King g3. Black wins on time. Game started as white. d5. e5. Knight f6. E takes f4. Bishop g4. Bishop b4 check. Bishop a5. Castles kingside. Rook e8. Queen takes e8. Knight c6. Knight e7. Bishop takes f3. c6. Bishop c7. c5. Knight g4. Queen c6. King f8. f6. White wins by resignation. Game started as black. e4. E takes d5. Knight c3. Queen e2. Queen d3. Bishop takes d3. Knight f3. Knight e4. Knight takes c5. Knight takes e6. Knight g5. Knight takes e6. Knight takes c7. Knight takes e8. Rook g1. Bishop b5. Bishop takes c6. F takes e3. b3. Bishop b2. Castles queenside. Rook d f1. e4. Rook f3. Rook g3. h4. h5. H takes g6. Rook h1. d3. Rook gh3. Bishop f6. Bishop c3. Rook f3. Rook g3. Rook f3. Rook e1. Rook g3. Rook g5. Rook e6. Rook e takes g6 check. Rook takes g6 check. Rook g5. King b2. Rook h5 check. Rook h3. Black wins on time. Game started as black. e4. Knight f3. d4. Knight takes d4. Bishop e3. Knight c3. Bishop takes d4. e5. Knight takes d5. Bishop e2. Knight f6 check. Bishop c3. Castles kingside. Bishop f3. Rook e1. Queen e2. Bishop takes d4. c3. Bishop takes b7. Queen f3. Rook takes e4. Bishop takes e4. Queen h3. Queen takes h7 check. Queen h8 check. Rook takes a2. Black wins by checkmate. Game started as white. c6. d5. e5. e4. Bishop d6. Bishop takes e5. Queen h4 check. Queen g5. f6. Knight takes f6. Castles kingside. Bishop h3. Knight bd7. Bishop takes f1. c5. Knight takes c5. Knight e6. Rook ac8. a6. Knight c7. b5. Knight a8. Queen g4. Queen d7. g6. Knight h5. Rook takes f8. Rook takes f1 check. Knight b6. Knight c4. Queen f7. Knight d2. Knight f3 check. Queen takes f3. Knight f6. Knight g4. King g7. King h6. Black wins on time. Game started as black. e4. Knight f3. Knight d4. c3. Bishop c4. Castles kingside. f4. Rook takes f4. Rook f1. d4. King h1. Bishop takes d3. Bishop g5. Bishop b5. Rook takes d1. Bishop takes f6. Bishop takes c6. Bishop takes b7. Bishop f3. Bishop takes d1. h3. King h2. Rook takes b1. a4. a5. King g3. King e4. King f4. King f3. King d3. King c6. King takes c3. King c4. King takes b5. King d4. King b7. King d4. King c7. King d6. King d5. King e4. King e5. Black wins by resignation. Game started as white. g6. e6. Bishop g7. Knight e7. Castles kingside. f5. d5. Knight d7. c5. Knight takes c5. Bishop takes e5. d4. Queen takes d4 check. Queen d8. Knight d5. Knight takes c3. King takes f8. b6. King g7. E takes f5. Queen e7. a5. Queen c5 check. Queen takes c3. Bishop d7. Bishop c6. King h6. King g5. King h5. King g5. King g4. Bishop f3. Queen takes f3. King takes f3. King e2. King d1. Rook d8. King takes c2. Rook d2. White wins by checkmate.